Episode 3 of Jupiter's Legacy just got weird. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to WeSib's West Coast, East Coast Siblings, where we break down your favorite movies and TV shows. Tonight we are talking Episode 3 of Jupiter's Legacy. Yes, this is going to be a review, reaction, biggest takeaways, all rolled into one video, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss, and let's jump into it. Okay, so this episode was pretty shocking as it kind of started off with a completely new cast. Turns out this guy named Hutch, who's working with his crew for somebody called the Big Man, and he's got to secure some stuff for him. Now, what turns out to be the case in the episode is that Hutch seems to be the son or great-grandson or grandson of George Hutchins, which, if we go back into the past, was one of the friends of Samson before he got his powers, of Sheldon Sampson. And so Sheldon in this episode is going through kind of a mental break after the death of his father and kind of finding out the underworkings of his father's company. He and his brother are kind of both reacting in opposite ways, and I talked about that in the last episode, but he's kind of spiraling into madness, and he's obsessed with these visions and these voices that he's hearing, the voice of his father telling him to go to the island, gather his crew, and save America. So if you've noticed, Samson's fiance in the flashbacks is not the same woman as his wife in the present. So something goes on there, and we kind of see the beginnings of it start to unravel when George Hutchins goes to visit Sheldon, and he shows him some of the drawings, and he says, oh, that's just, crazy ramblings and stuff like that. But he kind of brings him all back into it, saying, look, there's a windmill here, and there's this, that, and the other thing. So it all starts rushing back to him. He starts going crazy, and he disappears. I think this is going to begin his journey to gathering his crew to go to the island. Of course, after being missing for some time, his brother decides to call the police, and his wife, or fiance at the time, says, it's true, he's gone mad, hasn't he? And so I think this is why eventually she's going to end up leaving him, and maybe somebody new will come into his life, obviously his now wife, Lady Liberty, who will be there on the island with him. I'm assuming this is one of the people that he recruits as his crew to go to the island, and they fall in love, and that's how she ends up being Lady Liberty, the wife of Utopian. Flashback forward to Hutch, who's got this weird device that he can teleport anywhere by just using his voice. He ends up going to one of his friends in order to use his van, which is like a super cool tricked out version of the Mystery Machine. It can actually drive through walls. They need him to pull off the heist. He's working with two other girls, his friends, and after getting the van, they are able to get away from two other superpowered beings scot-free. They drive literally right through a wall, but then they hit something even more durable than a brick wall. Yes, they hit Chloe Sampson, who was walking around the streets. For what reason she was there, who knows? Nobody even knows who she was on the phone with, but they crash and a fight ensues. If you even want to call it a fight, as Chloe Sampson makes quick work of all of Hutch's friends, and Hutch just barely escapes with his life. We don't know where they are now, but at the end of the episode, we find out that Hutch is working on a machine. He ends up securing a device that's powerful enough to power a city for an entire year, or, as the scientist said, punch a hole through the most powerful being on the planet. He says, choose wisely, and we see kind of what Hutch is going to use it for. He's going to use it to, I guess, contact or reach George Hutchins from way back in the past. So this makes the connection that Hutch is Hutchins. That's his nickname, and he's the descendant of George Hutchins, and he calls him Pops at the end, so it's probably his father, and so he's going to be trying to go back in time in order to save him, I suppose, which is interesting. And we had talked about a couple episodes ago the possibility of time travel being introduced at some point. I was using this in reference to saying that Brainwave was speaking messages through time using his powers, kind of hooking up to a time machine like a Cerebro of sorts, but only for time travel, and then channeling his powers through time. So now time travel is introduced, so we're going to have to see how those things connect. But obviously, this was an interesting episode. It was kind of off-putting because nothing was really the same from the previous episodes, the last two episodes. But let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Be sure to hit the like button as well if you liked the video. Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss as we continue with this. The faster you want the videos, be sure to destroy. Just break the YouTube like button. That'll let me know you want uploads even quicker. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.